So, what happened the other day in Armagh, Northern Ireland, at St Patrick's Roman Catholic Cathedral? Has anyone seen the footage? Anyone seen it? 30 Palestinian supporting communist Islamists knew what time Mass was. They entered into the church with their placards, sponsored by the Socialist Worker Party, as always. They entered into the church. During Mass, they interrupted down the central aisle, turned their backs on our Lord and Saviour, and they held a silent protest. And I can bet you the people in that 30 group mob, some of them would have been part of that parish. That's how far gone certain people are, that they would be that disrespectful. Any consequences that we know of? No. Any ramifications that we know of? No. Imagine if Jewish people had done that in a mosque with Jewish flags on a Friday during prayer time. So whilst I talk to you guys, I will also talk to the camera and to the establishment and to those voting for parties that water down their policies to attract centrist voters. We are at war with radical Islam and the unholy alliance with the communists and the liberal elite that absolutely love the hatred and the division that that unholy alliance causes, backed up by two-tier policing, two-tier judiciary, and two-tier governance. Imagine if Jewish people with Jewish Israeli flags had gone into a mosque on a Friday. It'd be called a hate crime. They'd have been remanded. They'd have been locked up. Lots of people, in terms of the conflict 3,000 miles away, believe that Israel has a right to defend itself. Now, I don't want to get into that argument tonight, but a lot of people believe Israel has a right to defend itself against radical Islam. Well, this patriot thinks we have a right to defend ourselves against radical Islam and against Islamism. And it is the #1 threat, alongside communism, to national security in 2024. And they get away with it. Why? Two-tier policing, two-tier judiciary, and the diversity, inclusion, and equality agenda. It is absolutely disgusting. But more disgusting, for those who have seen the footage, what did the parishioners do? Did they get up and deal with it? No. Why not? Middle-class Christianity, and I am sick to death of it. I have been told in no uncertain terms by those in authority within my parish, if the far left and if Islamists try that in my parish, the laity is to deal with it. In no uncertain terms, you do not behave in that sacrilegious, blasphemous, most egregious manner over a common cause that you've got between the communists and the Islamists 3,000 miles away, that they use as their platform to further their power grab. The communists, whether they are Marxists, Leninists, Maoists, Stalinists, regardless, and as for the Islamists, they join up and they use the conflict 3,000 miles away as their platform to further intimidate, to further dominate, to further spread the caliphate. The fact they'll end up killing each other isn't relevant to them. They're useful to each other along the journey. And what does the government do about it? Nothing. What do they do about it, guys? Nothing. They embolden them and facilitate them with two-tier police and two-tier judiciary. Meanwhile, we have to choke on it. Oh, and we get silenced as well. What did the laity do in St Patrick's Cathedral? If you've seen the footage, if not, go check it out. As far as I'm aware, there are no ramifications. There are no consequences. Middle-class Christianity. Let's call it out when we see it. It is an outrage. The left and the Islamist tactics are disgusting, but doing nothing about it and staying silent is as equal. It's as evil. It's as abhorrent. We have forgotten our strength and we are commanded. Let me remind everyone, we are commanded to defend and protect the faith. We've had, patriots, record numbers of like-minded patriots join us from Reform over the last few weeks. It's no secret. Now, I have nothing personally against Nigel and the Reform team. I simply disagree with their methods. I think it unacceptable to use the labour of patriots to build your brand, and at the first inkling of pressure from the far left, you drop them. I find it unacceptable to compromise on your patriotic political values to attract centrist, middle ground voters. as at its best, it's dishonest. At worst, they're liberals pretending to be conservatives. What I can't abide by is good people putting their heart and soul into a political party only to be turfed out the minute they disagree with the party moving to the left. Therefore, as I have already said, I would like to extend the hand to all those good people currently swept up by the reform virus. Come join a real patriotic political party. Come join a political party that stands with working people and patriots of this great nation, and come be part of the largest patriotic movement this country has ever seen. Guys, we are at war. Be under no illusion, the fight we are in is the battle for our lives and our country. There is a global communist-inspired agenda to destroy our communities, to end the nuclear family, pollute the minds of our youth, decimate our towns and cities, remove our sovereign borders, denigrate Christianity, and to end masculinity, and to label anyone who questions their tyranny as far right. The fight we are in is none other than between good and evil. Those who say this isn't about left versus right, those who say there's no political solution to our mess, are simply wrong. The only way we can stop the destruction of our great nation is with God-fearing, patriotic men and women saying no to toxic left-wing policies, Islamism and communism. Patriots must change their mindset when it comes to voting. For too long now, we have not bothered to vote. How many times have you heard expressions like, my vote won't matter? More people didn't vote than voted for Starmer in the last general election. Imagine the damage we could do to the establishment if everyone voted. You can guarantee every far left activist, every Muslim, every woke student and unintegrated migrant voted in the last general election. It is evident. Just look at who is in power. People who weren't born in Britain, people who hate our country, are using the democratic rights our ancestors fought for to vote for people who favour them over us. Gentlemen, we are being replaced. The only way we can stop this evil is at the ballot box. Now, across the pond, President Donald Trump has achieved a fantastic result. Imagine if we could replicate that over here. Trump won his historic electoral success by sticking to his guns and offering the people of America what they wanted: a return to traditional family values and mass deportations. UKIP is the only mainstream political party in Britain offering the British people the same thing. And unlike other political parties, we will not water down our message. We are here to take our country back. Whilst we have had great success on the right in the States, what do we have to put up with back home? Starmer offering a measly 3.5 million to help house homeless veterans, but offering 29.4 million to mosques in protection from an imaginary far-right threat, which, by the way, he concocted. I have to put a PG rating on this one, I think, kids. Yeah, MI5. He laid flowers at the vigil for those 3 little angels slain in what is a suspected terror attack, the same way that he bore witness at the cenotaph on Remembrance Sunday, with that same far left, emotionally blocked, pre-programmed, robotic look he has permanently glued to his face. It infuriates me that this man leads our great nation. While Starmer dictates from number 10, our communities have become drug-riddled hellholes filled with migrants with murderous intent on our Christian brothers and sisters. How many more have to die or have their lives irreparably changed before enough actually is enough? Now, I'm not from Basildon, so I don't know the inner workings of Basildon. I'm presuming the crowd in front of me knows about Basildon and about this part of Essex, and I don't need to wonder what the answer to the question is when I say, has Basildon changed? Is Basildon different? Is it irrecognisable? Is it more or less dangerous? By a quick show of hands from those who know better than me, is Basildon a better or worse place than 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago?
Far worse.
And you could tell me about drugs, you could tell me about unintegrated communities, you could tell me about the women wearing burqas, which is the militant uniform of Islam to invoke and inspire and incite fear and dread inside of the indigenous population. That's right, that bullshit's getting called out. It's a reason why they dress in militant black. You could tell me patriots. You know better than me. But here's the thing, it's everywhere. On the coast in Portsmouth and in Eastbourne, up north in Barnsley, over here in Essex, in London, in the West Country, be it Islamism or be it communism, woke and DIE being the back door to the latter. It is absolutely everywhere. So to the establishment, to smug Islamists, to demonic communists, to the lily-livered cowards, to the socialists and to the liberals, I say this: not one more drop of British blood will be spilt in the name of diversity, inclusion and equality. And to the frightened sheep out there suffering with some bizarre form of cognitive dissonance mixed with Stockholm syndrome, mixed with liberal narcissistic personality disorder, I say shame on you and shame on the way you vote. We must rid our nation of communist parasites who want open borders and who delight in the blood of our youth being spilt.
And the Tories too, who have actually betrayed us for generations.
The establishment, we must rid our nation of Islamist scum who are here to spread the caliphate and who want our destruction.
The Tories have actually facilitated it as well.
The establishment, sir. The establishment. Blue, red, yellow. It's the establishment. It's all of them. We must close the borders. We must detain and deport the suspected 1.2 million illegal invaders on our land. We must detain and deport the migrant parasites leeching off of our hard work and who are here to colonize us. And we must begin the process of remigration with unintegrated migrant communities. Now, strap yourselves in. Just recently, under Islamist lawyer Ahmed Yaqub, a group of Muslim Defence League goons were let off violent disorder in Birmingham. They pleaded guilty. Is it any wonder these thugs receive special treatment when, from our courts none less, when our Justice Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, is a Muslim? Check out Ahmed Yaqub's TikTok, gentlemen. At some point tonight, you will find a video from 2 days ago where he stood with his client, again gloating how he has managed to get a man dealing heroin an 8-month custodial sentence. He's there gloating about it. An 8-month custodial sentence for selling heroin. How long was Peter Lynch given in jail for non-violent violent disorder, for simply being there? He's dead now. How did those Muslim Defence League goons walk away from violent disorder during unrest season? If you plead guilty to violent disorder in Britain during unrest season, you're going to jail, regardless of whether you've got form or not. How did they walk free in Birmingham? How did he get his client 8 months for dealing heroin? How's it possible? I was at Peter Lynch's funeral last Wednesday in Barnsley. I looked his wife in the eyes. I looked his 4 young sons in their eyes. Peter was 61. He was a normal, ordinary, hard-working chap. He was given years in prison. Going to jail is no joke. You may not even come out alive, ironically, because of the Islamist-run system. He's dead now. Meanwhile, we have two-tier justice ensuring that actual violent thugs, actual criminals, who are here to spread the caliphate no less, walk free. I was at Salisbury Crown Court on Friday. Everyone knows about the Potter's Hotel in Aldershot by now, and we should start calling it the Potter 7 when we campaign. 7 families at that time a few months ago had their sons, daughters, nephews, cousins staring down the barrel of being remanded upon a guilty plea to non-violent violent disorder. I was at Salisbury Crown Court on Friday because one of the families, it was his sentencing. The boy's 18. He's got no priors. He's in full-time work. It was a non-violent violent disorder. Through police escort into the car park at Potter's Hotel, the judge recalls an American football was kicked. Bikes were taken out of a shed and thrown. There was knocking on windows. There was flares let off. Where have we seen flares being let off in central London every Saturday for the last year? This child is 18 years old, just turned. He was 17 at the time, 18 months. He's already done 3 months. Those men at Potter's made a decision to walk into the car park that day. No punches were thrown, no kicks were thrown, no blood was spilt. They were angry, they were upset, and it was in the wake of the Southport terror incident. The highest sentence for the Potter 7 was 27 months. 27 months for a non-violent, violent disorder. It's been over 100 days. In context, those Muslim thugs who battered armed police and got away with it still haven't been charged. They still haven't been charged. In any other airport, in any other country after 9/11, they'd have been shot dead behaving like that. They're still not charged. Ricky Jones inciting murder, calling for conservative throats to be slit. Was he remanded? Now, he's been charged, but he's got a lawyer and he's got money, so he's going to try and get out of it on a technicality. But he wasn't remanded, was he? Patriots to this day are still being locked up. They're still getting knocks at the door over protesting their disgust at Southport, at two-tier justice, at two-tier policing. To this day, they're still being locked up after arrest. They're still being remanded. They don't know what to do. They're panicking. The law's putting the screws to them. They're saying they're guilty. They don't have defence. I was there at Salisbury Court on Friday, and I spoke to the barrister. And the family wanted to know why they were pressured into pleading guilty for their 18-year-old son. And the barrister said everyone's going to jail who pleads guilty for violent disorder. I brought up the Muslim Defence League goons who have got off. She went white. Straight on the laptop. Hadn't heard about the story. It's absolute nonsense. Patriots are being locked up for social media posts and for non-crime, non-hate crimes that you can't even articulate what it is. Meanwhile, another section of society, because of their race and religion, are walking free. And in Salisbury Crown Court on Friday, the judge went out of his way to say the attack at Potter's was to do with race and religion. You see how easy it is for them. You're not brown, you're not black, you're not Islamic, therefore you're the bad guy. So when we refer to the establishment and to two-tier policing and two-tier judiciary, be under no illusion when I say we're in the fight for our lives. Why does Axel Rudakabana not speak? Why does he cover his face? Why have the press not released an image of him? What? Those journalists, for a living, uncover everything about you. What, and they don't have a picture of his face? It's nonsense. Why, as leader of the House, Lindsay Hoyle silenced our politicians from talking about this case. Why has he done that? Why has Mike McGarry, head teacher at Axel School, written to parents, staff, pupils, care workers, governors, and the wider community, telling them implicitly to under no circumstances speak with the press, essentially silencing someone who has information about the motivation behind this most heinous of crimes? Why has this case not been expedited? Why has Keir Starmer not made an example out of this case, as he was so quick to do so with regards to locking patriots up over non-crimes and social media posts? If it could get any worse, Kemi Badenoch, leader of the Conservative Party, is on record as saying she doesn't believe two-tier justice exists in the UK. The enemy is within. Words are important. Silencing is chief far left weapons and tactics territory. It's designed to shut you up. It's designed for the truth to not reach the public. Silencing is way more evil than that, because it's designed to make you lose hope. It's designed to make you lose faith. Hope and faith in our processes, our justice system, democracy, in voting, in our courts, in our governors, in our institutions, and in our processes. But far more terrifying than that, patriots, silencing is designed to make you lose hope and faith in yourself. There's no point. Why should I vote? I've got no one to vote for. My vote doesn't count. I can't do anything. What can one man do? Do you see how they're winning? Do you see how they get it? Meanwhile, the far left and the Islamists, they vote every single time. They triangulate, they form communities, they form pincer movements. When you are derailed, when you are emasculated by silencing, it also causes anxiety and depression, because you become faithless, you become hopeless, like no one's listening and the whole world has gone completely mad. Patriots, I swear to you, the only way out of the disgust, out of the outrage, out of the hatred, and out of the nightmare is by actually doing something and destroying this evil at the ballot box. There's so many more examples. Bonfire Night was another one in Hare Hills recently this year, another bunch of hooligans and thugs dressed up in balaclavas claiming the streets of Britain are now theirs, a bunch of losers and dropouts on e-bikes flexing how this country is now theirs. These aren't first-generation immigrants. No, they are the offspring of both first and second-generation migrants. Start calling them what they are: weaponized colonizers. They run rampant and riot throughout our towns and cities, then scream victim when they are prosecuted, only after they have terrorized and wrecked our communities. Labour are corrupt, an embarrassment, and I'm sick of them. But I'm more sick of the outrage without action. I am more sick of the disgust without real behaviour change. It is time, patriots, time to wake up to the realities of what it is going to take to make our families and those who shed blood to once again be proud of us and maybe even forgive us. Every issue, from potholes to school places to food and water shortages to the energy crisis, every issue can be solved with mass deportations. Clap if you agree. Every other Western country deports illegals at will. The US sticks them in cages. Germany sends them to Afghanistan. But we can't deport literal rapists and violent thugs due to human rights. It's absolute rubbish. When I was a kid, it was safe. You'd go and play on the street with your friends. Now, you wouldn't send your kid out unsupervised for fear of migrants wanting to rape or rob them. Kids now have become brainwashed also to hate their country by Marxists who have been slowly taking control of our institutions since the beginning of the Cold War. Gentlemen, it is called the Long March through the institutions. UKIP will take down the unelected bureaucrats within the civil service. We will defeat the deep state, and we will rid our great nation of communist and Islamist scum. Our political class and the establishment are more worried about being called racist than they are concerned with the grooming of vulnerable children. That's how worrying this is in our country. They'll sacrifice our children on the altar of multiculturalism so they get to wear their politically correct credentials like a Medal of Honor. It is truly, truly sick. Teachers are no better, as they seem to be collecting vulnerable children like accessories. They brag to each other about how many trans or gender fluid kids they have in their class, as if it somehow makes them the ultimate tolerant liberal, politically correct, and somehow superior. This is what godlessness has done to our minds, to our country, and to our children's future. These liberal fantasists have forgotten what it is to teach and instead made schooling all about their sick perversions. I say enough is enough. I say any teacher caught encouraging a child to become transgender should be locked up and barred from education for life. Children are the future of our great nation, and we will not have their minds corrupted. The anti-patriot sentiment is not just taught in schools, as wider society has stigmatized patriots, casting us as society's villains in an attempt to demonize and suppress the working class. Why are we not allowed to celebrate St. George's Day? Why is the establishment and the government so scared of unifying us behind a common identity? The only time we get to be English is during football season, and that's when we have the diversity agenda, the LGBT agenda, and all things woke rammed down our throats. England is the only country where you aren't allowed to fly our own flag. I want to see English people being as publicly patriotic as our brothers and sisters in Scotland, in Wales, and in Northern Ireland. And as God is my witness, we will take our country back. Patriots. The new right rises. As God is my witness, we will take our country back. And when we do, it will be for his glory. Patriots, in 5 years' time, we're voting our way out of this. Thank you.